I'm not a part of the sharing. I'm not a part of the hookup culture. I'm not a part of that at all.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because I was a wife.
But
yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm Nakia.
I'm Dawn.
And I'm Camila.
We are the Middle-Aged Mamas. We are back with another episode of Middle-Aged Mamas. We're all here, and we have back with us Ali. Yes. She is here from the very first episode, our launch episode.
Hey.
We just love her so much. She's a writer, director, producer.
All around fabulous.
All the things.
Please stop and continue also. More.
And managing it all very well. And still skinny over 40. We all
But I would like to say there is a point as you get older where skinny is not good, because we've all seen those old ass skinny women and they're old and you look more frail.
Yeah, well, you need to pump some iron.
You gotta get some iron and a little
protein.
You don't want to be a skinny old person.
You're like a slim thick.
Oh, I like a slim thick.
Yeah.
I'm more of a skinny fat.
You're fit in all the right places.
Thank you.
So we all recently went to Beyonce.
Yes.
She's still making her way around her final tour. What did you guys think about the concert? What night did you go?
I went on her birthday night, but mine was like a last minute decision. And so, well, because I was gonna go, then I wasn't gonna go, then I decided, like, I got FOMO, although I already saw the whole concert on everybody's Instagram feed. So I was like, why did I spend over $500 on a solo ticket? So I didn't get the full effect because I went with people, but then they had like floor seats and I was up high and I was by myself.
Wait a minute, who does that?
Because I bought my ticket last minute. They were already going together.
And you were partying all by yourself?
Yeah,
Did
so
you
it
make
wasn't
friends
the
with your
same.
neighbors?
Kind of, but it was like this old couple, and they were just kind of like,
Where were you sitting?
I mean, I had a good view, but it was high up. But I had like,
What
I could see
section? Were
everything,
you
like
in the
300s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I felt like I didn't get the full effect. 'Cause I feel like if you're with a friend, you're like in it. I would be like, hey,
I totally thought you had like a whole crew, because when your picture showed you were walking in.
Well, we all went together, but then they all had tickets already, and my sister got one for free, like literally looking up at Beyonce.
No way.
Yes.
How did she do that?
Because her friend's like a fabulous producer and got like free
but you know all
VIP
the
tickets.
people.
But I got mine on Sunday. I got mine on Sunday night.
Yeah, that's what we did. We have the same thing. Camila and I have gone to all of her concerts. And Dawn had mentioned it a few episodes back that her and Morgan were going to go as a mother-daughter date.
And we got jealous.
So we were like, wait a minute. We need to figure something out. So we spent 3 hours on the phone trying to find the cheapest ticket.
Was it still like $500?
It was like threes.
It was three.
But we were section 100.
Yeah, with the fees, it turned it up. But
you were section 100 and paid $3,
girl.
Yes.
How come mine was 500 up in the threes?
This is the trick. You have to get the obstruction view.
Yeah, the obstruction. But it was nothing.
But you were fine.
It was like a speaker, but it was so minimal.
Yeah,
I missed that.
To look around.
I'm still mad about that money.
Yeah.
And then our section was like right over, like if it was a football game where like football players would come out. So it was only 3 rows of us. It was so nice.
It was so
Well, I did
good.
not get that experience, so and I spent double.
How did Morgan like the concert?
It was lovely. It was perfect because you know how, as I said before in the other episode, she suggested it as a mother-daughter date. And this is her last year home. She's going to be a senior. She's preparing to go off to college. And so I'm trying to take all of the opportunities to have this bonding time. Mm-hmm. And so I surprised her. And I ordered outfits. Like once Beyonce said silver, I ordered all this stuff from Amazon for her and me. And so,
uniform.
yes. So I took this little silver blouse into her room and I said, try this on and see how it fits for the Beyonce concert. And she was like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Like my kids always go Kardashian on me.
That's so funny.
And so I said, try this on and see if it fits for Beyonce. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then it like started clicking. Like you could see like everything moving and working. And she jumped up. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a you. I don't have on any clothes. So she like jumps out of the bed naked and starts screaming and slapping me. Screaming and slapping me. And I'm like,
no way.
Like, that's enough with the slapping. Right. But the top didn't fit. We went out later on that day and got her an outfit that was fabulous, and it was so good. It was so good, and we went with some other another mother-daughter duo.
Right. That's so cute.
We saw the picture. You guys look absolutely fabulous.
We were in 200 something,
okay.
and so it was absolutely perfect. And she was so cute because I'm not the most coordinated, like my husband calls me like
dancing.
Yes, like a member.
Really?
Oh yeah, he calls me like the like rhythmless nascent.
Do you
like,
do? Can
Like
you two-step? Like a little two-step?
We see you get out there though. You definitely.
Offbeat.
No, I can do a mean two-step. Like,
All right, that's all you need. That's all you need.
I can do a mean two-step, but as far as like coordination, that's not my thing.
You can't switch it up from the
But can you do the electric slide?
I can do the electric slide, but I can't like start it off. I need to catch on.
She gotta wait for the double Dutch roll. Turn the right way.
I can't be at the beginning of the group, like with any of those, the wobbles, all of them. I need to be
I
like
still struggle with the wobble.
in the
Yeah, me
middle.
too.
I need to be in the middle.
Yeah, I can't do the
can't
wobble.
lead it. Like, don't follow me.
I want to. My body wants to wobble.
Right.
I can't do it.
But I'm not the leader. So it was so funny to see her. She was exactly the same as me. Like, I was grooving, I was on beat, but because I don't try to do too much at one time, she was trying to dance and clap. And
Oh.
I just looked at her, and of course I didn't say anything to her, but I was so tickled. Like, this is my child. But what I loved is that I've always been fairly self-conscious about it. She
just let go.
care. She was totally like dance as if no one was watching.
But I think like you could be that way in that particular atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just crazy, wild, free.
And that's the great thing about concerts. You can just let go.
Yeah.
We took Abby, and this was her very first concert. And my niece Parker, because she was staying with us for the weekend. So I called my sister. I was like, we're going to see Beyonce. Can Parker go? She was like, yeah. So they were just having the best time. And Abby's pretty reserved too. But she was dancing with me, singing. Yay. I'm so glad you decided to take more.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was something that she'll remember forever. You know. It was really good, and it was so nice to see so many mother-daughter.
It was a lot.
I saw a lot of those photos.
Even little girls.
Even the littles, and I said, "Oh, this is
really
good.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's a moment.
Good on Beyonce. You're gonna have to do a redo.
Well, so speaking of concerts and first concerts, so Preston's first concert was Wu-Tang at Hollywood.
The other episode, because I was going to take D to a Fuji's concert. It's
Wait, yes, well, see, he went with a little friend of his.
Okay.
So
Wu-Tang was probably like still making music and like.
Well, hold up. Let me come around to it because so his little friend and his dad were going to Wu-Tang. They're, like the dad's like a diehard Wu-Tang fan, and then it was his birthday, so he called me up as like, are you comfortable if we take Preston? Yeah, to Wu-Tang. Yeah. First of all, I was thinking Hollywood Bowl, Wu-Tang.
Right.
Weed galore.
Yeah.
Like, it's just gonna be.
Sure.
Beyonce too? Yeah. Well, I didn't smell like Beyonce.
Oh, they were smoking at Beyonce right in front of me.
But,
I left high.
Really? Well, okay,
You was a mother-daughter in front of me.
you're walking
I was
up.
high as hell.
Oh, wow. But with Wu-Tang, you're like walking up, getting that shit's hitting you in the face in the parking lot.
Yes.
So Asher, my youngest, was jealous because I took him like the next concert we went to. I like listening to Elevation Worship.
What?
So the church, a worship concert.
Oh my God.
And Asher was like, "This is not my first concert. I do not
Wait a
accept
minute.
it." Preston went to Wu-Tang.
Like, Mom, what you trying to say?
To Elevation, he was so mad. So that being the case, now
Hilarious.
I saw a sign for Ice Cube, who he loves, in Ja Rule and Ashanti this Friday. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna surprise Asher with some Ice Cube.
Travis Scott's gonna be here in November, so interesting.
But look, so I bought these tickets and I was all excited. I bought them. I was so excited to like surprise Ashley. I'd be like, "You're going to Ice Cube," but then I was like, "Let me go back and listen to these lyrics." I was like, my Jimmy runs deep, so deep, put her butt to sleep. I was like,
that's what we were listening to back
You get away from any of that. Even with the music now, it's kind of worse.
It's worse. That's what I was thinking because I was like, with Ice Cube, he's old. He's in his 50s. I was like, it's gonna be old heads.
He already knows it.
Your baby.
But now I'm torn. I feel a little convicted, like I shouldn't take him.
Well, this is what I always tell my kids, that it's art. So if you're enjoying someoing art and the way they express themselves and his talent, then that's different than just walking around the house cussing your friends out. So put it in that lane where it's just art.
Yeah.
And after we enjoy the art, we're not going to wander around. You know,
it still goes in their heads, though.
Yeah.
It goes. I bought insurance.
To it now?
Well, I bought insurance, so I'm like torn. Like I'm just in case.
Is he listening to the songs now?
But he only likes "Today Was a Good Day." Like he doesn't know. I know all the. Well, that's and I didn't really either until I started listening. I was like, oh. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't be.
Gasoline,
like, like I was like,
but aren't they just listening to the beat anyway? Are they really?
Well, the lyrics were the showcase though back in the day. Now it's more like kind of beats.
We don't know what they're saying. They're like
but not only
what
that,
they were saying.
Back in the day, at least for me, I wasn't buying their albums. I was listening on the radio. So we
it was the clean
versions. That's what, and he knows the clean versions.
We know the clean
that's
versions.
A good point.
So
it's
now
not going to be clean.
I have Sirius Radio, and I'm able to listen to the uncut. I'm clutching my pearls like in the car. Like what?
Like, I didn't understand
was this really necessary? Because I really enjoyed the clean version. Like I was able to vibe off of that, and I think sometimes the dirty versions are just. Some of it is unnecessary.
Oh, a lot of it
takes away from. I mean, you already have the content, but then you bring in like all of that other stuff, and I just feel like sometimes it's a bit much. That's just me. I'm old fashioned, but I did let my son go to. I did let him go to Lil Baby recently.
Oh, really?
With Maya, they had a.
But he's also 14.
He is.
So
He's 14. He's already in high school. But they had a brother sister date, and so that's why I felt comfortable doing this just with Morgan because she was like, "Nah, I'm good on the Lil Baby."
But they're listening to it anyway.
I know, but that's so your version of the Beyonce mother-daughter. I was like, I'm gonna be Ice Cube, mom and son.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Have you told him yet?
Yeah, I told him, but then I was like,
"Oh, you gotta do it now."
I was like, I don't know now if it's appropriate.
That might be clean enough.
I was like, I feel like it's just gonna be old
you
people.
Said
Ashanti and
so it's not
like
all
it's not
of
like
Ice Cube, and you can have a conversation with him before and after about it.
His daddy might.
How does that work? Do you have to get approval for stuff like that?
No, but
if you use your best judgment.
Yeah.
Well, fill us in.
I will update.
This is
Friday.
Yeah, you can say we started off with
with praise and worship.
We covered all the bases. The spirit moved me to Ice Cube.
He said, "This is not my first concert."
He was so mad.
He was like, "I'm not claiming."
And in fairness,
he's like, "We already go to church."
And it wasn't just a worship show, y'all. They were like doing missions. Like
they have the
they had everybody. I was like, even I was embarrassed. I was like, I'm sorry.
So wait a minute, how did he enjoy the Wu-Tang concert?
Preston, he liked it. Yeah, he had fun.
Good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, that's good.
That is good.
And I heard from adults who went, like people who I knew were like, that was the best. They're like
the Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, compared to like Beyonce, they're like, that was hands down the best show I've ever been to.
Man.
So if your first concert is like the best show that an adult has ever been to,
yeah. And it is considered quote unquote old school for Preston.
Yes.
It's very old school.
Okay, so today we need to cover the age-old question. Can you have it all? I think you are a writer, you have kids, you're out there in the dating world. How are you balancing everything? And can you truly have it all?
Well, before I answer that, I thought we were going from old school to what are we too old for? So, if I may.
Yes, we can go straight there. Let's go straight there.
Yes, you may.
What I'm contemplating, and I have not accepted if I'm too old, is the crop top.
I don't think you're too old.
You're not.
If you got a flat tummy or semi-flat tummy, I think you're good.
And now everything's high-waisted, so you can cover up that. What do we call this again?
The fupa.
The fupa. You can cover up the fupa.
Yeah, if your
just have like a little
flat enough and there's no bulge hanging over, I think for sure rock it into it.
Honey, I see with the bulge.
But I don't like that. I don't think that's
I respect it. I so respect it.
You mean people who have
rock
extra,
it,
don't matter,
who are just fluffy and don't care? Because I spent
Fluffy.
so much of my young life being concerned about all of that stuff.
Conservative.
Yes, being so concerned when I was fine. You know, I was like, "Ooh, no, this is a."
Yeah.
But these girls, they don't care.
Can I tell you what I saw today?
I don't know. I can't get behind it.
Yeah.
I was coming from Total Wine today, and there was a young lady in the store with her boyfriend, and she just had on some short shorts and like a little crop top, like hoodie kind of thing. And I'm in my car about to pull off, and her and her boyfriend were walking to the 99-cent store. And as she walked, I started to see like the side of her hip coming out. She turned around. I mean, I could see like the back of her whole...
Her booty cheek.
Honey.
Yeah.
Her whole butt was out.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Earthing.
But was it a
No
firm
shame.
butt?
Pancakey.
Yeah. I think
But was it round or was it like
I mean, she had a
pancakey?
beautiful shape.
Oh,
Don't get me
okay.
wrong.
Well, then
she
I
was
guess.
a thick girl.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like just the fact that number one, she was standing in line.
Everybody could see it.
Everybody could see her butt cheeks just out. Like it was like half of her butt in, half of her butt out. I was like, okay.
But also, why do you want to expose your butt to the elements like that? Not just you're letting to the elements.
And you know,
That's
I
just
was having a little
cleavage, booty cleavage.
Yeah,
It's the booty cleavage.
But honey,
I don't-
it was just
it's not
her butt was
mine.
out. It wasn't cleavage.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like it because. So I just said. So I'm about to now go against what I just said about the fluffiness. So like the tummy, like go for it, but then the booty, I just feel like it's too much. I mean, I get like Daisy Dukes and all that stuff.
It was beyond.
I had my time, but I feel like there's a time and a place. Like if you're going to Beyonce and you get your Daisy Duke going on, and you know that butt with that little booty cleavage, but I see like in high school.
Yeah, that's the
You
thing.
know,
There's no decorum anymore.
It
at all.
is. I feel like there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
But
Total Wine
are you too old for crop tops? I don't think so. No,
I don't think it has to age, but I
so.
feel like it's your body. If you look crazy, then you can have maybe cleavage or something else, but I don't want to see the bulge in your stomach. I want to see a flat and honor that girl. Like, damn, she looks good, and that inspires me. Let me get my ass back in the gym so I can tone up the areas.
Yeah.
But like you, I spent all those years thinking I was one way when I really wasn't. But in my teens and 20s, yes, I was fine, and I just brought those crop.
When I should have been wearing midriffs.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable wearing midriffs.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
when you were like dating my brother, your body was sick.
Ooh.
She had hips, big old butt.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might get back to that, but we might just stay with the full blouse. We'll see. He still loves me all the same. But for some reason, I do want my kids to see me skinny. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, I don't want them to have a fat mom.
Well, don't they see pictures too?
Fat.
No, I know, but
It's their
they
fault.
don't.
I just
Yeah,
blame
it is
them.
their fault.
I just
But
blame them. Like, you know what I look like before I had.
I always say that, and I'll show the pictures like,
I was formed.
you know, I used to look like
Formed.
this and that, but I don't know. It's just, to me, never give up. Always try to get back to where you want to be, because you really don't feel 100% happy if you're not happy with your physique. I don't think. I think
And-
it's a lot.
Well, sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say, now that we're middle aged, I hate to like admit that, it's more about your health.
Yes.
Than just
100%.
looking like it's like
So
you
you
have
need
to
to
eat
exercise
right. You
anyway.
need to exercise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're getting out of bed.
Yeah.
All that
Hurting.
Stuff is
cracking, hurting.
Yes.
and,
Right.
What's hurting you?
you know, the Tin Man.
Yes.
So it's like you
That,
have to.
They're all of that. And
Breathing
so,
it up.
yeah.
I know. But I'm just happy that like I'm certainly not a midriff girl or, you know, my fupa, all that stuff. Is that what it is? But my man still like it. You know,
And that's what
What more do you
matters.
need?
and
That's
I
what matters.
remember, like, even when I was younger, or like in between having kids and stuff, and when we're like spooning or cuddling, and he'll start making his way down
Around your belly.
to like my belly, and I would just feel just like, what are you doing? Don't, you know, like in my head, I'm like, don't, you know. But he doesn't care.
Do you have sex with the lights on?
No, I don't care what time.
Yeah, I was like, at this point, how many years have you been married?
We have been 22.
But some people prefer when their bodies get a little fluffy to turn the lights off.
He's seen it all.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm not concerned about like lights because you know it could be 8 o'clock in the morning. Who's gonna turn on? The sunshine.
It's already lit. The room is already lit.
The sunshine. I'm not concerned about that, and I'm no longer concerned about like the tummy or anything either. But I just think about the time that I wasted. So when I think about I'm too old for being concerned about that stuff that I used to worry about.
So are you reverting back a little bit
young.
style-wise now?
I am absolutely. Like I wore this dress that had like cutouts and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I felt so sexy and I looked so pretty. And so I think I'm just at that place. Like this
I don't give a damn.
This is
I don't give a fuck age.
Yeah. My 50 and free. Like this is like 50 and free, and it really feels so good, and I don't have all of those hang-ups that I used to have. Like it is good. It is a good.
I mean, because when you think about, that's funny that you said that, because I was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago. Because when I went to the Beyonce concert, I had on a sheer outfit.
So pretty.
I had
Beautiful.
Panty, or not panty, but like boy shorts.
Yeah.
And I put that song up there purposely. Cozy by Beyonce.
Up where?
On Instagram when I posted the picture.
Oh, okay.
Cozy. I'm cozy with who I am.
That's the word in my skin.
And I was thinking, like, if you're not comfortable with yourself at this age, when are you going to be? At this point, you have to accept all of it from head to toe.
But sometimes you can accept, like, I'm comfortable with my thoughts, my friendships, all of those things. But yeah, I still have hang-ups on what I look like when I go out. I don't want stuff rolling over. But my thoughts, my opinions, my friendships, my marriage, my kids, at 47, I feel like I have those things under control. But I will never stop dieting.
No. And I'm a perpetual always drinking shit.
And talking about it.
Have you lost weight? Actually, you look so good.
I always make Ali give me a compliment.
But it doesn't consume me.
Okay,
right. It doesn't consume me the way it did in the past. Like that would be my entire. Like I couldn't even enjoy a session at some time. Something we done done. Now I'm like, you know, like the little horny cat. Like
you've always been a horny cat.
You know what it is. I think, and it's so funny that that's kind of like what you associate with my relationship, because when I met you, when I met all of you, we were at that stage where I was finishing up having babies. I just had my last. You were still kind of working. You were still having babies. So I was at the end of it. But it was, we would always talk about like how to still get it in. And because of the kids. Right. And so I know Ali always laughs about how we would leave kids at the dinner table and be like,
and go
we're having a meeting.
Get it real quick.
There's a meeting in the ladies' room.
We would say we're gonna go have a meeting.
Sure. Yes.
And how long
would the meeting last?
However long it lasted.
To the climax.
But we would leave the
Our
kids.
dinner's cold.
No, they would be at the table. Like we'd have one strapped in the high chair.
Not the high chair.
Yeah, because he was a baby, you know. And so we would find the time, because you know you go through phases where the baby is in the bed with you.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Or then another one is coming in, and then another one is crying. So we really had to be.
It's dinner time. Nobody get up.
Strategic and intentional about it, and still to make sure. And I think we do a really good job at this as a couple of continuing to date and continue. Like I don't feel like we've ever kind of lost ourselves in parenting.
That's
Yeah.
great.
You know,
Yeah.
That's important.
we still take that time for us.
Yeah.
That's always something that's
To
been
have him
important.
as your boyfriend still.
yeah.
And that helps it last.
Yeah, and I feel like we just like each other. I still think he is sexy as hell, no matter what. With his fluff and all of that, and so that part has always been there. That's
I
always
feel like you and Will are the same way too.
Yeah, as
I
far
don't know about the getting it.
Oh, well.
It's much.
But I'm certain in terms of the
staying
friendship
friends,
and the
and
dating
liking
and
each
liking each
other.
other.
Yeah, we
Yes.
genuinely like each other.
and just being easy.
That makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
Just
Our
just being
temperaments are
easy.
similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very laid back.
Same here. And so that's why. But I think the other piece is that when girls get together, that's all we're talking about anyway. We're talking about sex. And so I think if during that time, we were probably always talking about that. So it made me look like I was like this fiend. You know?
Which you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which you
It didn't make you
are.
look like you're still consistent with that.
it has just been, we've been together for a very long time. And so I don't think about, it's just easy. It's all very
But it's good
easy.
that you guys are still hot for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have grown cold.
But what I think what we need to remember too, it's certainly not a chore or anything, but it's a very good stress reliever.
Oh yeah.
And so as our lives get
So good.
more stressful, even when I'm asleep, like I will say I really enjoy being with my husband, but I really enjoy sleep. Like I think I enjoy sleep like more than anything else.
Right.
So when I'm really, really tired, I'll think like, I know he's had a very stressful week, and this is going to help. And so I try to think about it like that. Or when I'm stressed out, I know that closeness, that intimacy
Yeah.
is very good
Yeah.
for stress.
Orgasms are good for the health.
Yeah.
It's very true.
It's very good for stress. And so I try to help.
Well, enough of the old married talk. We need to find out what's going on in these streets with our two single ladies. How is it dating over 40? Because the last time we were on a date, it was the early 2000s. So how does it happen? Is it the apps? Yeah. Is it the apps? What's the first
Oh
step?
my God. It's dumpster diving.
Dumpster diving. That's a new one. I haven't
It's
heard
looking for a shiny penny, like in the bottom of a dumpster barrel, basically.
that. Really?
App dating, yes.
Now,
I
do you
mean,
think
maybe
that's
just
because of the age group, or that's just across the board?
You want to take that?
I don't really think the age group matters because it's just mess.
It's culture.
Every age group.
Yeah, I think it's today's culture.
It's culture.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's social media. At least
it's all of that.
It's all
I
of
think
that. Because
All
like
encompassing.
yeah. When I look at like my guy friends like social media page, it's I'm like, wow, your algorithm is so different than mine. I open it up, it's just ass. Every single person looks like a variation of a Kardashian.
Yeah.
No matter what race they are. They
Yes.
all look the same. They all have the same body, the same booty, and they're just being pumped into that. Like it's just at them constantly. So I feel like I've even talked to guy friends, who are single, and they're like, honest. Here's the thing: the ones who are doing well and are like successful in their life, like, there's no real reason for me to settle down because I can basically get whatever I want.
Whatever they want, whenever they want.
So it's the
they can
women's
change
fault
it out
then.
whenever they
Yeah,
want.
swap it out.
I mean,
If the women
I
are
think
giving
it's
it
the
to
women.
them easily and making it comfortable, then what's the point?
or the women are not giving it to them easily and not making it easy enough for them, so they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, so they want to move on to the next.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. As a culture, women in general have changed
Yeah.
from dating, monogamously and being side pieces, and I'm gonna see him on this day, you have him on that day.
Yeah.
So as a culture, women are different.
Yeah.
So it's making it
I don't
easier
know
for a
who's
man.
agreeing to that though. I don't know.
There
for
are
many-
people.
I mean,
Oh,
some people,
yeah.
but I mean, like
But
generally.
the hookup culture, though, isn't that part of it?
I guess.
But
So
I mean,
there's
I'm not a
sharing.
part. I'm not a part of the sharing. I'm not a part of
sharing.
the hookup
Oh, my
culture.
goodness.
I'm not a
Yeah.
part of that at all.
But that's what I'm saying. It makes
Because
it
I
harder
was
for-
a wife.
But
Yeah.
ooh, I love that. Woo, preach, girl!
I want to
Yeah.
be a wife again. Yeah. That's my goal.
Dang, you sounded like a complete whatever crush.
She sounded so resolute, and I love that. I do.
You got a crush on my
I don't
sister-in-law
want to
because she
settle.
was a wife.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, I just refuse to settle for any BS. Like, I'm so tired of it. I'm not with the shits. I'm not with you dating me plus someone else. Like, I'm just not with it. Like, let's just all be grown. Let's just be adults. Let's just be mature. And let's just really say what it is. Lay it out. If we're dating, if we want to date, like monogamously, then let's do that. Let's not have 2 and 3 different people, a sister wife thing going on. I'm not with that.
Right.
But the problem is a lot of these men now are in this like Peter Pan mentality where they're not and hiding behind screens and our culture, which is all like based on media and social media and hiding behind. So they don't even know how to communicate effectively. So it's like
the older men that grew up without all this stuff.
Most of them are doing it too because they're dating younger girls.
Yeah.
And so it's this whole culture.
The older they get, the younger they date.
Yeah. And it's like the ghost culture too. It's like if something's uncomfortable for me or if I feel cringy about having this conversation or if I don't feel like I'm treating you right, poof.
That's it. Gone. Never
Gone.
hear from them again.
Yep.
Well, what about you? We talked about this before about, if you want to remarry. Do you want to remarry? I feel like when I look at your life, you're certainly one of those women that sometimes I'm kind of jealous of the freedom. It seems like you go on the best trips. You are like looking so fabulous.
Look at social media,
you get, of course, but you also get like that week off with the kids. I know sometimes I think like I want a week off. And so do you have you found your groove and feel and also to have the flexibility of I'm not down with this. I can move on. Are you comfortable in the place that you're in? Because it feels like it for people looking like you have this successful career. You're beautiful. You're doing all of these things. But like, are you feeling like Camila? Like I was a wife, and that's my goal.
I mean, look, the grass is always greener, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not faking it on social media. And that's important to me. Whatever I put on social media, I try to be as authentic as I can be. Like, so I'm not presenting to the world I'm some way that I'm not.
Yeah.
However, like it does get hard and lonely because especially when you have successes in your life, you could probably attest to this. It's like you want to share that with, if I sold a movie and I told the boys, my kids don't, they're like, oh, cool, mom. Yeah. But that's all you get. Yeah. I don't have anyone to be like, babe, like let's pop open champagne, let's go out to dinner, let's go celebrate. I don't have that.
Yeah.
And so that I don't have the friendship you guys are talking about, that partnership. And because I was a wife, I know what it's like to have another person in the home. I know what it's like to serve another person and to be in a loving, committed relationship.
Right.
So it is hard. I mean, unlike you, I have done a lot of I've settled for some trash along the way.
Don't say unlike me.
This is where she is now.
Yes, you've evolved, and I have too. I think more so now. But you know what? Not to get too serious, I have a lot of funny dating stories. But this is just current, and I've been the last few days. So we're talking about back issues and getting older. And I've been having these back issues. I wish it was funny, but I'm going to come back to some funny stories.
I'm ready to laugh.
But I've had all these back issues to the point I got an MRI and all these things. And then God spoke to me and it was like, it's trauma and shame. And I was like, what? And we carry shame in our bodies. And it's my lower back. I started doing research and it's the SI joint, which I loved reading. I was like, it's the weight bearer. Wow. And I was like, I got chills. I got chills all of a sudden in the hips. Yeah. And I was like, and as women, it's actually proven that we carry our anger in our hips. If you go to a masseuse, we're tight in our hips. Wow. And so that's why it's important to twerk. It's important to work it out, release all that. Wow. But God started speaking to me like, I never realized, because I feel like I am a person who's introspective and I forgive myself a lot. But he showed me, like, you have so much shame. And because you have all this shame, it's preventing of you being free to love and seek out the right people, because every person, you're like so like just grateful for their attention and like great. It's like, just love me, anybody, just love me. And it was like, he literally showed me this morning like a vision of me drowning in this like pool of like shame. And then it was so beautiful. It's like God like drained the pool. And then, as parents, I'm getting chills again.
Me too.
You know how as parents, when our kids like get out of the pool and you wrap them in a towel, and God showed me, let me wrap you in the towel of love.
Like
I'm taking swaddle you in love, because you can let that shame go. Like you can release. And can I tell you, my back pain has started to dissipate. It has started to get better. And so I really think there is like a connection. So now I'm going to stop talking, but it was so funny. Beautiful. I was driving down the street today, and I felt God say to me, we joke about like dating, like, you up? That's like the kids say, you up?
Yeah.
God said, you up, but what it meant for me, and I laughed, I was like, you're so funny. It's like, you're up. It's your time. You're up. You're up. And I'm getting chills out. He's like, you're ready. You are ready now. Wow. You've released. You're in the wings.
Right.
Are you ready? Because you up.
Right.
That's
good.
So, y'all, I don't know the timing. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't know if it's next year.
Right. But
I'm up. I'm up.
It's on the way.
We haven't
Are you up? You up?
Soul Sunday, right? What's the Oprah show?
Soul Sunday.
Super Soul Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
that was beautiful.
That's where I'm at now. That long-winded answers your question.
No, but when you get to that place, it feels so good. Yeah. It feels so good, and you have to be. I feel like you can go through a relationship and you can grow with someone and you can heal with someone if that person is the right person.
Yeah.
If that person is the right person. I certainly had so many things that I needed to heal from, that I needed to be able to trust, and I had the right person to allow me to do that with. Yeah. But when I feel like all of those things hold us back, not only in relationships with significant others, but even in friendships. Even in friendships, because all of that shame and all of those things, it also turns into insecurity.
That's the lens you're seeing the world through. So like you said, in friendships, you're defensive. Everything is through the lens of shame, of that thing.
Yes. You're insecure, and then you can't be great for anybody. You can't be great for anybody. And so, and men as well, and I feel like so many women think, oh, I can fix him. I can do this for him. But our men need to be able to heal too. Yes. And take that time. And sometimes we can't be there for them to do that.
Yes,
they need
girl.
to be able
I think that's
to figure it out on their own as well, or with help, however that may be. Therapy, church, prayer, exercise, whatever. But when you're able to figure it out and you're not in a relationship, when you get in one, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, so much.
It's going to be so good.
Because it appears, and I'm not saying that this is for all men, but it appears that when they, like, for instance, stop dating me, they just hop to the next person.
Yes, so
they
quick.
Don't give themselves time to reflect, figure out why that didn't work, what's wrong with me, what do I need to work on. They just hopping from one situation to the next situation to the next situation, and they just carrying whatever initially was wrong with them, hurts, family hurt, mama hurt, ex-girlfriend, past ex-girlfriend
daddy issues,
reasons why they weren't able to love you correctly, and just continuing on, hurt, and that saying what hurt people, it just continues. It's just a cycle, and so that's what I've been experiencing. Hurt people, continually hurting people. I was telling my therapist the other day, like, I know that I have not been in a romantic relationship where I have not been, like, cheated on. every person that I have dated has always had someone else, or there's been some sort of infidelity, and that like feels like horrible to me. Like,
what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me?
That someone would step out.
Yes,
I hear that.
Continually though, like, and so this time now, I'm taking the time to just really examine myself and examine my choices and like boundaries.
Yes.
And trying to make sure that I make the right choices. Yeah. Put boundaries in place and not take any more mess. And then trying to really decide, am I even going to give anyone another chance? Like if they mess up the first time, should I give them another chance? Should it be a second chance?
Not this point.
Not this point.
Not now. Not when she's age.
And I'm too old.
You're too old. Yes. You're too old. I am too old for bullshit.
I'm too old. So that's a no.
That's a no.
But so, speaking of which, was about.
Oh, I have another statement. I am not just into getting married. I can have a life partner.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm fine with that too. It saves a lot of money.
But why wouldn't you get married though? If it's
because I've been married. Because I've been married, and so I'm not like, ooh, I want to walk down the aisle or anything like that. If it comes to a decision between me and another person, and we make the decision to not get married, but just to like have a life partner situation, and we live together, make decisions together, and do everything together, I'm okay with that.
I'm with
that.
Now,
would you want that for Dean?
I would not want that for Dean.
So then how do you do that and say, but I don't want this for you?
Oh, you mean
but he knows you were married.
I know. But I'm saying, if this were to happen next year, he's 11. So him watching that for 10 years while he's still at home, how do you say, I don't want you to do this, but
I don't know. I would try to I would have to figure something out. But for Dean, I would definitely promote to him marriage. Marriage is the way.
But do you really think you would live with someone not married with your?
I don't see it happening, but that's not totally out of the question.
But also, first of all, why does he have to know that you're not married? I mean, maybe I've changed in my older age.
That's interesting.
I'm just saying, like, if you have a life, if I have a life partner, you can wear a ring.
I
don't have to tell my kid we can go
ceremony.
Yeah, you have to have.
Now that I can see, because
you're still modeling.
He's still growing.
There's a lack of commitment.
I know that, but if you want that for your son, that's an example that he would have to see in the home. Otherwise, what is he going to say at 24 when he's like, this is what I'm doing?
He knew that I was married. He knows that me and his dad were married.
Right, but there's a difference of 10 years, someone in the house helping to raise him, unmarried, and then him making, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you want that for him, then that's something that he would need to see.
Well, he would definitely see us together.
Yeah.
What he would actually know,
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know. I don't know how I would put that to him, but I am an advocate for marriage.
Yeah, another thought in the parenting, dating.
I am an advocate for marriage, and I would promote him to not shack up.
Yeah.
Right.
I would promote him to have a wife.
Right.
And do it the right way. I even promote to him now, like, not having sex before marriage. I know it's kind of an early conversation for him.
Right.
But
no,
still,
it's not. No,
I promote that. There's nothing wrong with you being a virgin until you get married and you being a man. There's nothing wrong with that. So, why do you look like that?
I don't. You know what? Like I grapple with that. Especially we all came up in church together. Yeah. So like obviously like my faith walk has, I mean, not my relationship with God, but just kind of like, the laws of, have changed a little bit for me. Because Preston, my oldest, did one time, it was like he just opened up and I was like, ooh, okay, let me be ready. Because like, he's asking some questions. Yeah, right. And he's like, well, my children's church or whatever was saying like, you shouldn't live with anybody or share a bed with anybody because that's sinful. So I was like, okay, I was like, how do I approach this? I was like, okay, well, being in the same bed with someone is not sinful. Right. I was like, I think, anyway, I don't want to get into that. It's a whole other thing. But I just was saying, I was trying to be a good parent and share values, but also like be like, there is some gray area.
Yeah.
And not promoting, you to just go have like, premarital sex, but also like, because, okay, here's the thing. I grew up with the shame.
Yes.
I grew up with a lot of shame
Me too.
from church culture. And like, you better repent and you better not have sex. So I would just cry and feel awful about myself when I was doing anything. I would just be like, I mean, to the point, if we're transparent, I used to like cut myself as a kid because I just felt like I was so dirty and I
But you grew up in
disappointed.
the church?
Yeah.
Oh, I never realized that.
Yeah.
I thought you came like as an adult.
It's always been a part of my life. So it wasn't my parents. My parents weren't like that.
Right.
But I was in youth group and it was always like, you know, promoting, you know, purity. And I felt so unpure.
Right.
So I think when I was talking to him, I was like, be careful because I don't want to promote that either,
Right.
the shame. And like, if you slip up,
Yeah.
you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't like,
Right.
I want to promote
It's
grace.
hard. Right.
I want to promote loving yourself.
Right.
And so you respect your body.
Right.
But not to the point of shaming him
Right,
into, you know,
Right.
submission.
And if my son, if that ever happened
Right.
for him, I would not like shame him. Like,
Yeah.
like
Right.
we would just have a talk about it,
Yeah.
you know. But I don't want him to feel like he can't ever come to me and talk to me and tell me like this has happened or I'm doing this or I'm doing that because it's not about I told you not to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Like making him feel bad for a decision that he's made because I feel like at some point in his life it's going to happen whether I want it to happen
but you
at
want
a
to
certain time
instill the
or
right
not.
things.
But I would rather him
Have the
wait
foundation.
instead of and
Yeah.
I would rather him wait and not just sow his royal oaths all over.
Yeah.
me.
Please.
You know,
I ain't trying to be a grandma in my
and
40s.
I want to be
Or in my 50s.
young grandma.
Right.
You know, I would prefer he make a really good informed decision
Right.
about that whole
And especially at this young age, you want to start off with that, and then you just, you know, slowly add a little layer here and there.
Yeah.
When my kids were asking 5 and 6, 7, where do babies come from? How are babies made? I would say, oh, the seed gets put in the mom. I didn't explain the whole thing, just
Yeah.
and then you just build from there.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I know the full story. And we also do the same thing, you know, talking about loving someone and being in a full. And I tell the boys now, I say, you know, these little girls have their periods, right? So
They can
if
get
a
pregnant.
penis goes into a vagina, there will be a baby.
Right.
Are you ready to have a baby?
Yep.
No. You know what that means if you get someone pregnant. You got to
Yep.
go to work. All your dreams are on hold. They might
Yep.
not be gone, but they're on hold because
Yeah.
I'm not raising
Just
somebody's
hold.
baby. So
Yeah.
we start those real
That's good.
conversations now
Yeah.
so that they know, you know,
Yeah.
she has her period. I'm not putting my
Don't-
penis
don't
in
put
that
her.
vagina.
Stay away.
All those girls, they're menstruating and they can
Yeah.
result in a pregnancy. And I have 2 Google-eyed kids that are just like hopeless romantics. So you never know what they.
And you gotta watch, I'm sorry, but you gotta watch, we're boy moms, like these girls.
Yes.
Almost all of my guy friends lost their virginity to an older girl. And I'm like, especially with my little one who's Mr. Romeo, I'm like, he's got these 14, 15-year-old girls who dote on him. I'm like, you better
His
watch
little
that girl.
doughy eyes.
The doughy eyes. I'm like, and he's like, Mom, why are you always talking about these older girls? And I'm like, I am not having them take his virginity.
He said,
You
"Mom,
know,
my
these
These
are-
girls are.
they're fast.
Because
They
they're
are
much
fast.
faster than
Because
boys.
Yeah.
More mature.
And they're so much faster, and you know, I know I'm not the only one here with a boy and a girl, you too, but I think about too as an educator, the way I would see the elementary kids. I remember I was teaching 6th grade language arts, and the boys, all the boys want to do is play basketball.
Yep.
You know, they just want to play basketball.
Yeah.
They want to eat their little Lunchable at recess.
Right.
Go play.
And the girls are, I remember there were a group of girls that I'd have to have a conversation with them because there was a tetherball pole right next to the basketball court, but they had taken the tether balls off because probably kids were getting hurt.
It was swinging on the pole.
Yes! These
What?
girls,
Stop.
these girls are using the tetherball pole as like a stripper pole. And they're twerking on the sidelines as though they're the cheerleaders for the boys for basketball. The boys are not paying
You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
any attention to them.
Yeah.
But just their thought process.
But
Yeah.
they are, that's what these girls are doing in
Yeah.
6th grade. So I pulled them aside one day and I said, listen here, that's inappropriate. Well, my mama said, I said, so what I'm going to need you to do, I said, the next time I see you doing that, I'm going to sit you down at recess. You're not going to be able to do that. So one of the little girls sassed me about what my mama said. I said, I said, well, this is what I'm gonna need you to do. Go home and talk to your mom. Ask her, tell her that I said it was inappropriate, and ask her why.
Yeah.
If she agrees with me. So she came back, she said, I spoke to my mom and she did tell me it was inappropriate.
Yeah.
And so I see those things happening, and of course it makes me nervous as a parent, because so I'm going home then, and I do this to my kids and to my husband, and I know it's not fair, but I just can't help myself. So I go home, I'm talking to my girls like, I hope y'all not at school twerking and
that's what I do too.
And using the tennis ball as a stripper pole.
You better not.
And I go to my son like, you pay attention to them girls if they out there doing so same thing. If I hear somebody's husband's acting crazy, I look at more like, I wish you would. I wish. And he's like, what? I don't
You immediately absorb it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like,
this.
I wish you would. I would
Side-eye.
You
Fuck
try that.
around and find out.
Right. You try that and see how that goes for you. And so because I'm seeing all that, I'm like, what are you doing? But my conversations have changed with my children. I have changed as a parent because I grew up in the church as well. But I also had parents who were really good about talking to me and kind of preparing me for things. My mom did it in a way that was a bit more graphic than I wanted to. And my dad did it in a way where he's like, if a man tell you this, that means such and such and such. But it was also interesting because my dad wasn't good to my mom. He wasn't a good example of what a husband should be. And he knew that. And so he made sure he told me, like putting me up on game, what I should expect. But I also had a different sense of freedom than I would say my husband had, because we started dating as young adults. And I remember we both had, there were different stages in our relationship where I would be in the dorms, or I would have my own apartment and he would be home and I would be with so at this particular time, he had his own apartment and I had moved back home with my dad. And my dad would always say to me, because this was pre-cell phone and all that stuff, so he would just say, just let me know if you're not coming home, because I was in college and early 20s. He's like, just let me know if you're not coming home. Let me know where you are. So I remember I was at my then boyfriend's house, who's my husband now, and it was getting late and I was going to spend the night. And we had already been together for a few years.
And then he was like,
and no. I called my dad and I called home and I said, hey Dad, I'm going to spend the night. I'm at Martin's house. I'm going to spend the night. Martin's in the background like this. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm looking at him like, what's the problem? And so then I hang in my dad's like, okay, be safe. I'll see you in the morning. He's not tripping. I'm grown,
But he probably didn't want your daddy knowing that we doing it.
Yeah.
But still, we had been together for years.
He
my
knew.
Dad is not like
naive.
He's not. His head is not in the sand. He knows what the deal is.
Right.
But my boyfriend at the time was like, "What did you tell your dad?" I said, "My dad just wants to know that I'm safe.
Yeah.
He wants to know where I am. I'm not lying." But he had a very different relationship with his parents. Yeah. And so even when we were engaged and my husband was in medical school, and we were in a long distance relationship, if he wanted to see me and stay at my house, I'm sorry, in-laws. When he wanted to see me and stay at my house, he would come to town without even letting his parents know that he was in town.
Oh, wow.
Because he wanted to be able to stay with me. And so, for the magic. And so I respected that. We were very still respectful of our parents, but in a different way. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was very sweet of him. He was very much about
very respectful.
Very respectful, not trying to put anything in his parents' face. I'm sure they probably still thought he was a virgin when he got married at 28.
Oh my God.
Please no. I wasn't gonna be like, your baby is the freak of the week.
Your baby is a freak of the week.
But I'm not having those same conversations with my children. I'm learning to be much more flexible, because when those things come up, and there are going to be some things you're going to make mistakes. That's all a part of living. It's all a part of growing. And we certainly went through some things that we didn't feel comfortable sharing with our parents. And I want to make sure that my kids know they can call me.
Yeah.
That they can call me. And I tell my daughter now, who's away in school, like,
Out in the world.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
I don't care. And when my phone rang one night at like 11 o'clock at night, which was 2 o'clock in the morning where she was, I'm just like,
Yeah.
And so I just need them to know this is all a part of growing up.
Yeah.
And be safe, be respectful, all of these things, but I'm not putting out those hard things of don't do this before this, don't do this. I did say to my daughter recently, I said, when and if, just remember, any man you decide to lay down with, this could possibly be the father of your children.
Woo!
Yes.
It's true.
You're choosing that. You could be choosing that.
Yeah, because that is a real outcome. Yeah.
So I said, first of all, I was shallow for a minute. I said,
crazy.
I don't want no ugly grandbabies.
Yeah.
I had that moment,
Yeah.
but also, or crazy. And I have
That's
those
more important.
conversations. I have those conversations of what type of relationship does he have with his mother?
Yeah.
What type of
that
relationship
matters.
does he have with his father?
Yeah.
What
All
type
those
of
things
relationships do the parents have? All of these things.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that's going to show up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the stuff that's going to show up not only in his relationship with you, but the way that he will raise your children.
Yeah.
It's so hard though. We're talking about like going back to dating for a second. I think where my parents were very good about that kind of stuff. Like, does he have a nice household? Are his parents still married? So I had the foundation of that, but I'm trying to find the balance now with myself, but also with the kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that led me the other extreme, where I was looking for someone on paper who was good. Like, but he's Christian, he goes to school. I mean, he has good family like values, all these things, but we weren't necessarily compatible. But on paper, it's like, but this is what I would only think about dating people who I thought my parents would approve of. And they were not the best people, but they were suitable for what I thought my parents. Even as a 44-year-old woman, I'm still like, oh my God, like what would my dad think of this guy if I brought him home? And there's like, so that impacts even my dating life, but also I don't want my kids to ever feel that box. Because Preston asked me, and we'll get into the sexy dating part, but this is important too, as middle-aged mamas. But he was like, well, I was also told I'm not allowed to date anyone who's not a believer. And
Who said this?
Preston said that. And I framed it more, well, the thing it's harder. You want to date someone who's aligned with you and your values and your principles and your beliefs, and you want someone who's going to pray for you and who's going to have these values. It's not so much about the law of don't date.
Right. What do you want your life to look like? Do you want to be fighting over, we're going to celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas? Those types of
someone
things.
who understands your faith. So it's more, I try to frame it more like that. Same with the sex before marriage. It's more about loving your body and respecting your body and like who's the type of person if they're going to be a parent versus the legalistic Pharisee version.
Which is interesting. I belong to this moms group and I'm always reading. People are asking questions and a topic came up where someone was saying, we really want our daughters to feel good and to know their bodies. What type of sex toy would you recommend?
What?
And I was like, really, girl? Going down that road to such an extreme where you want every part of your child to be happy that you're looking for sex toys.
That's what that is.
That drives me insane.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not the only person that thinks that's crazy.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's real though. There were so many comments
that they were saying
recommendations, books, because they want their child, because they didn't know their bodies before to sex, that they want them to feel everything and pleasure themselves.
I was dating a guy who I have a funny story about him, but he told me, he said to his, I think she was like 18, but still, he was like, make sure you're masturbating so you know your body, you know what you like. And I'm like, from a father?
Yeah, like
I was like, that feels weird.
Right.
Like
Can
I
you reel
wouldn't
that
want.
back in?
I've never even heard of
Yes,
Yeah,
girl.
it's like, because I don't want a man just taking advantage of you. So it's
Yeah.
important for you to like really learn your body. And hearing that, I don't know. I was just like, that's a little
It's just
much. for
everything
me.
is going to the extreme of making our kids the happy person all the time, to the point where you want them having orgasms to feel happy.
That's just crazy. I mean, it goes
They
with the
can figure
whole.
that out on their own. Like, it's okay to do that, and you'll figure out what you like. And
you'll figure it out.
If you have a partner that is not fulfilling, then you'll talk to your girlfriends to figure it out. Like, we don't need to facilitate.
We don't need to get involved.
Piece of our kids' lives.
No, that will weird me out.
Yeah.
I think sometimes my mom would want to have conversations with me, and she was just trying to prepare me for the world, and also because her mom didn't talk to her, and so. But it weirded me out, and I don't want to be that way with my kids. Like sometimes I might joke about, you know, they may say something about me, and I'll say, "Yo, Daddy like it," you know, I make little jokes like that. Yeah. But I feel like those, unless they come to me.
You're on her camera. You're gonna be on camera.
Staying low.
That's all right.
I am going through perimenopause, and I be having hot flashes.
Here we are.
So I'm waving my little book as a fan. So I think for me, I'm still old fashioned.
Yeah.
Also,
there are some.
I'm still old fashioned.
That.
There's some things I don't want to. And I'm also very much a ignorance is bliss kind of mom too. Yeah. I don't want to know everything, but I want them to know that if they need to come and talk to me about something, that I'm available. Right. But I don't want to know everything. Like my daughter, detail. Yeah, like my daughter came home her first year of college, and she started telling me things, and I'm at first it was cool, like, oh, she trusts me, she's sharing these things. And then I was just like, oh, too much. And I don't want to be a weirdo, so I just said something like, small doses. Yeah. I just told her, I said, can you just share with me in small doses? Mm-hmm. You know, and so that was kind of how I was able to handle it, because I was feeling uncomfortable. Yeah. And so I don't there's a fine line. Yeah.
There's a fine line. It's all,
it is a very
and we're learning as we go too.
Yeah,
just as our parents were probably learning as they went, you know, they were doing the best that they knew. I mean, they did better than like their parents.
Yeah.
So every generation is like learning.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
I think our generation is over coddling these kids to the point where they're not getting their driver's license. They have to have mommy and daddy call for a job interview and set them up. It's like staying at home.
How do we reverse this? I mean, is there a way?
Cancel social media. Part of it.
Or just stop coddling them. It's like, this is the smartest generation. They're all on like, well, we can't say Twitter anymore. Is it X? But they're all so smart, but then they have no life experience. Right. No. They're not even, first of all, they're not even having sex. If it really goes to it, then this generation has less sex.
Yeah.
So, but I want to go back to, you were talking about the men and how they're not doing the work. Story anecdote, how, and I said this on my Instagram live, but I was dating this guy and I got this book. And it was like this Why Fathers Cry at Night by Kwame Alexander. And it's like this beautiful memoir. And it was talking about his healing journey after like 2 divorces, as a dad, and just his life. So I was like, you know what, this would be really good for this guy I was dating. And he was like the closest to like what I actually wanted. He wasn't perfect, but I was like, this is my next level dude. Like this is like, this feels right. He loves me right. He's good. He appreciates me. So I give him this book. I didn't even read the book. I just gave it to him. He read it in a day. Really? And at the end, there is this letter that the author Kwame writes. It's to himself. It's like a conversation to himself about how you've never taken the necessary time to heal and process your divorces, and you've never been single since you were 25, and all these things. So he comes over to my house the next day. And the funniest part is
he read it. How many pages was this book?
He went through it. Okay, maybe it wasn't a day. At least 2 days he read it. Okay. Like sat through, read it front to back. He comes over. He's like, Ali, this is really hard for me. You gave me this beautiful book, and it resonated so much with me. And I read Kwame's conversation with himself about how you never healed. He's like, I've never healed. He's like, I need to be alone.
Oh my God.
I don't think I can do this with you. I was like, ain't this a bitch?
You should have torn that page out.
No, here, let me take it out. Let me read that.
You should have torn that page out.
Oh my God.
There's your book.
Try it again.
Try it again.
Oh
He
my
left
God.
my ass and said, I have so much love for you because I love you. I cannot be with you because I'm not healed as a man yet.
Well, that doesn't
Wow.
mean that it's completely done. It's
not
You
done.
guys
He
talk
might be
about-
on the way.
Not really. I don't like because it was hard for me because I cared a lot about him. So I was like, he's like, but I still want to be your friend. I was like, I can't. I'm not doing all that. Like I'm not gonna still talk
Wait,
to you
how long
every
were
day.
you guys dating?
Like 3 months.
Oh.
But it was just disappointing because I was like, the first time I meet like a man in so many years who's like closely aligned to what I want, that I give him this book, and then he leaves me. In the name of healing.
Sounds like a book.
In the name
Yeah,
of
maybe,
healing.
I feel like maybe it's not over.
He's on the way.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I'm also, I
How long
released
is it gonna
him.
take him to heal?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I ain't waiting around that
What's the
long.
timeline? Was there a timeline?
There was no timeline. He
Can
hasn't
we get
followed up with
an addendum?
me. But
I mean, can you heal and or be in the process of healing?
can.
And
What did the
still
book
date?
say?
well, that's what. So, according to the book, no, because he was like,
You need to be alone.
need to be alone and
Solitude.
in solitude and really deal with your shit. Because I feel like you were saying it earlier, Don. Like, if you have a partner that can heal with you, fine. But I think it happens faster if you're removed from everybody and you're just you and yourself dealing with you, because it's distracting if you have somebody else, because then you're also dealing with like their stuff and you're both like trying to like do this together. Ultimately, we're always growing.
Yeah.
So even when you pair up with someone, you're gonna still keep growing. But the real hard work of really dealing, I feel like you need to do alone.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, but it was just so funny. And so from him, who was a little older than me, I started banging 35-year-olds. But these young dudes,
What's a stallion?
these young dudes are
35.
just as bad though.
Really?
Yeah, but different issues.
Like,
But-
can you keep up though? Because I'm thinking now, like at 50, like from 35 to 50.
yeah.
Whoo-wee. You know,
35's full grown though. I feel like if I was dating like a 25-year-old.
I don't mean it's like a
Yeah.
baby, but when
You
you
can have
when you
children
started
Yeah.
your started your story about like back,
Yeah.
I was thinking about like my husband right. His back will go out.
In the middle of
You have to
it.
reset. Wait, let's reset.
He's stuck like a dog. You know dogs get stuck? Like when they're mating? He gets stuck in it.
His back will go
Charlie
out.
horses.
Or I'll get a Charlie horse.
Charlie
I'll be
horses.
like, I'll start screaming and he's thinking like, okay. I'm like, no, I need you to massage my hip. Like right there.
Real quick. Whoa, I'll be right back.
Hold up.
Like it's very much like old. And so it's interesting. The other day he's gonna kill me, but recently he did like this new move. Like when you're with someone.
A new move.
New mode after 20 years of marriage.
No,
We've been doing some research.
we have been together almost 30 years.
Damn.
So, like, at this point, I don't need nothing new. For one, I'm thinking I don't need anything new because I have, like, my certain things. Like, you know what you gonna get. Like, I have a few meals. It's gonna get you to where you need to be. But it's limited. It's limited. I have a few meals.
Cobra Kai you? What'd he do?
What's the new move?
So this new move, like, I mean, it was like, early in the morning. So I'm distracted
Were you
because
twisted like a prince?
no, I was distracted because I'm enjoying myself, but I'm also like, what the hell? Like, who taught you this?
Yeah, I'll always be like, are you having an affair?
Like, who taught you this? So then later when
Did he have a penis ring?
no.
Wait a minute, what? A what?
A penis.
A penis
See,
ring?
I need to start using some toys. It was just like a new position. And so I asked him later, I said,
Where did you get
that was nice. And then he was like, okay, yeah. I said,
watching some porn.
girlfriend teach you that?
I was the same
Did
thing.
What you watching?
Your girlfriend taught you that move? He was like, no, my back was hurting and I just had to like, I said, okay. But I'm not thinking about like new stuff at this point.
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable that if I think of like a 35-year-old,
you gotta twirl in the air.
I'm thinking like, dude, my knees are bad, my hip, my this, my that. Like
But they're not really doing it like that.
Really?
Because they're still a part of like the sexless culture. So
Oh,
a lot of them are
They're
like,
jacking off so much.
yeah, they're just like, I'm kind of good. Yeah, they're like,
because all the virtual, you can put the
They're so
goggles
exposed.
on and have
Yeah.
a full experience
What
now.
the hell?
Yeah.
and they're all like, which is a good thing. They're like sapiosexual. So they're
What is
like,
that?
the sapiosexual is like when you're like attracted to
The
like
intellect,
intellect and like,
boy.
yeah. So it's like,
No, I mean, that doesn't mean
term-
that they're devoid of sex.
No, but they're like, but
That's
they're
what
more
attracts them
attracted
to
to
you. Right,
like
yeah.
intellectual conversation than just
I'm
like.
I'm very,
Get hard?
yeah, I'm very attracted.
No, they do.
They do.
That's
Just
what
not
draws
as a-
them to
that's
you.
what draws them. That's the attraction.
That's what they're
As
doing,
opposed
talking to
to
you,
the
getting into
physical?
Yeah.
your mental.
Because that was my fear coming. I don't know. Do you feel that way?
That
I'm
then.
sorry.
Coming out of like, but you've always both of y'all like you used to do like the whole like
Yeah,
like the
lingerie.
lingerie.
Oh yeah, every time.
What am I trying to say? Like the
not me.
costumes
Oh,
and
no,
the,
no.
That wasn't me, but I always,
She always had
I did
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
She
It was a
spiced it up.
slight show.
But-
I wasn't doing shows
Yeah.
because that
It was a
was
slight show.
But that was my fear coming out of my marriage. That I was like, oh my god, am I gonna have to like do all these
right.
tricks
fun. I
and
think
do all
it's
these
fun.
things? But I was afraid that I wasn't gonna be able to like keep up with like the young girls. But most of the men that I've been with, they just want good
I
sex.
don't think young girls are doing them like that. Putting anything like
They
that.
worried about their lashes.
Yeah. Like, oh, don't mess up my hair.
Trying to take a selfie.
I didn't do all that. I mean, I just don't. I don't wear. When I do that, like, no, who even sees it? Like,
What do you mean?
She's talking about lingerie. She
Lingerie,
just goes
yeah.
straight for the nakedness.
Yeah, we just go.
Now, how does that work, Camila?
Because
I think it's a setup.
I
So
mean,
you just come
I guess
out?
If we,
Yeah.
I guess if we were like away,
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like I'm coming home from work. I'm taking it off. I'm putting on. I'm not gonna then like shower and put on like some fresh lingerie. Or
But you're married. There's a difference. Well, I guess you
But
get
if that's not
married.
his thing,
He
then
comes home.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't care,
It
but-
could be his thing. I don't know.
He could care if
It
she started
could
doing
be.
it.
how do you not know?
It could be.
Do you do it?
Because I ain't.
No, we always end up laughing.
It feels silly.
No,
It feels good.
silly.
No, he's been wanting me to do like strip shows and all that. But see, that goes back to like me not having a rhythm and feeling uncomfortable. So,
You be like,
all you
gotta do is shake your body.
I'll do a mean two-step and I will feel silly. So, but no, we just don't wear any clothes. And I get annoyed when, because we both won't wear any clothes. And if he's in bed and, wearing like some damn shorts with a like drawstring on it and then some underwear.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't want to have to go through all that. I need you to be wrecked because
Oh my god.
all these extra layers, that's unnecessary. Who had time for that? Because I'm trying to like go to sleep for a couple hours.
That's
my
part,
God.
depending on
Trying
who
to
you
just
are.
mount
That's
you real
part of
quick.
the
Yeah, I
and then
need you to be
and
ready.
dressing and all
I need
that kind
you
of
to be
stuff.
ready, and I'm gonna be ready. I don't need you to
Oh,
be
thanks.
tugging all.
Although speaking, well,
I don't
sorry,
have time for that.
I was
Go
gonna say speaking of tricks, there's
Okay,
one guy
tell
I
me
called
some tricks.
the ball man, and this
is
dude,
a
Did you
person.
say
this is
ball?
the
or balls?
the ball man, the balls man,
Balls, testicles.
testes.
Oh.
This dude I was dating, great sex, amazing sex, loved it. Yes.
what was it, one?
You like to
No,
juggle it.
wasn't it just one? Every single time, play with my balls, spit on my balls, juggle my balls, lick my balls. Like I'll be like, twist it up, twist it up with my, go to my balls. I'm like, how? Did he say spit on my balls, gargle my balls, tickle my balls, lick my balls.
You said, wait, how?
And that's how we was getting off.
A good little juggle. A good
Climax in this balls were stimulated.
A good
And I was like,
juggle
the good
is fun.
Okay, the first time. Every single time. Spitting, rubbing, massaging, juggling. That was why I broke up with him. I was like, I can't commit to that.
I'm sorry.
I like you, but I don't like your balls.
You should have gave him the book.
I should have healing. Like this feels deeper. This feels like
Wow, that's weird.
he's literally from like behind, like lick my balls.
You playing Twister. The balls edition. Twister the balls edition.
I don't like a bunch of demands. Like
You think?
let me do. I don't like. What
Why
you
am I
trying to
not
say?
surprised?
What you trying to say?
You don't like a lot of demand.
I don't like demand because you think I'm controlling. I know.
In directions.
You shout not all the. I'm like in my zone.
You like, I'm too old for this.
I'm too old.
No, I'm too old for this. That's the theme of this conversation.
I need multiple step direct. You got one.
One ball lick. One ball lick.
Maximum. One ball lick
I don't need
maximum.
all the You can talk, like you can tell me I look good, and but don't start yelling out demands. Ain't nobody too often.
It's too much.
too
And he
old for
was
that.
old. He was in his 50s.
No.
So this wasn't some young dude.
Ain't
He was in
nobody
his
got time for
50s.
all that.
Ain't
Like,
got no
I'm gonna
idea.
do what I do, and it's gonna be just right.
So that means you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, he told me since college.
Stop.
That could be a fetish thing.
It is
Has he ever been
It's a
married?
fetish thing.
No.
That's why.
He said ain't nobody commit to all that.
Ain't nobody
He
got
said
time for that.
one little girl did it to him in college.
And it was
that was
over.
Like, well, it has to be. Wow. That's
Turn
total
his
fetish.
ass out.
Yeah.
Forever. That is too
Somebody better
Forever,
do
like for
something
every
different to him.
time, like it
Every
wasn't like
single
special.
time. And then wanted to
Something's
get
a
mad about
special.
it and be like, you know what you like? I do what you like. I was like, okay, but I'm not demanding. I don't have to do. Yeah. He's like, wow. Wow, this is like
No.
But I was like, he's like, well, then I'm not gonna come then. I'm like, okay, well, nigga, then you ain't gonna come.
You ain't heard me.
Right.
I'm gonna go sleep anyway.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go sleep.
Oh my God.
Shoot.
My cheeks hurt.
Sexual
Now what is he
demand.
gonna do?
That's hilarious.
Has anybody? Okay, now I'm all excited.
Okay.
Has anyone? This came up. I saw a meme that was like, when the sex isn't good and you just want to whisper in the ear, boo. And I was thinking that for women, I've definitely had moments in my dating,
Yes.
where it's not just the sex, but the head's whack. And I just want to pull up and be like, it's okay, boo.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We good, fam. We good. Never mind. I'm good.
That is hilarious. It is.
It's
That's
jackhammer tongue.
That's a jackhammer.
I don't even know how that works.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you're old and you've been with somebody for a long time, you just used to
rope.
it. You know, no. I'm not getting
You
used to
know
no
what,
whack.
or you know what to expect.
No,
You have a rhythm.
They
You know each other's
they
body.
already
They know your rhythm. They know what you like.
Yeah, they already know.
Certain positions at work.
Ain't nobody got time for all that other nonsense.
Yeah, and that's what we have to deal with.
It's a dry season. I'm okay with it because I'm cute.
But what did the doctor say? You gotta use it or you lose it.
Yes.
My
What's
sister
your-
told me that my sister's 57. My sister Lisa.
You talking about the other sister.
Yeah, my own sister. And she was
about
saying
your
she has
older
friends who their vaginas are breaking because they're not using it.
Yeah, that's what the doctor told us. That
Yeah.
it turns into
The
a
lips
thin
and the lips
sperm.
Prolapses or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
and your lips fused together.
So you have to use all of that to keep
Yeah.
the juices flowing.
Keep it
Or
going.
you can use Crisco, she said.
Yes.
Crisco.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Crisco oil.
It keeps
Seems
it
like a.
lubricated.
That sounds like
it's
that.
soy
That
based.
time I use Crisco's when I'm making biscuits.
Yeah, I was like, that feels like that messes up my
Use
flora.
biscuits.
She said it's soy based.
Oh, that's
estrogen.
what. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
all
thank
right.
you. I don't use biscuits.
Now, every time I see it, I think of that.
Now you
It's
think of
Crisco.
Lou.
It's on our
Crisco Lou.
shelf
I
all
just
the
keep
time.
a little Crisco, the small one, because it makes the best biscuits.
Oh my
You might
God.
have to
I don't need it.
rub your fingers.
I'm straight.
The other day, I have one last, well, I won't say it's last, but I have one funny other dating story about the young guy. It's not sex related, but this young dude I was messing with and dating very shortly, went off to Europe and like apparently
He went off to you.
he went off to Europe and like met the love of his life, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you anymore. I met the love of my life in Europe. Okay, thank you.
Next.
Good luck, next.
Yeah.
However, when we were hanging out, he came to my house and he brought this beautiful tequila bottle. He's like, I don't come empty-handed. I thought that's real classy.
I thought you were going to say, I can't come without
No.
tequila.
Not this time. So I put the little tequila bottle in my liquor
And spit on
cabinet.
walls.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was him too. But anyway, so he goes off to Europe, falls in love. So the other night, I was like, you know what? Oh no, I had a neighbor's party, a birthday party. I was like, I don't want to go out and buy something.
Right.
So like, you know what? I'm gonna re-gift this nice bottle of tequila.
Right.
I pull out this tequila and I'm looking at it. Girl, it was opened and halfway down. He brought over a used bottle of tequila. Then I look it up. It was Target.
You didn't notice it?
No, because I just
It
took
was from
it.
Target.
It was from
That's
Target. It was like
funny.
$24 from Target. I thought it was like this
Wrap.
Let him stay in Europe with the love of his life.
But I was
He can
like,
stay
oh,
over there.
how tacky. This cheap ass little boy brought over, I didn't want to come empty handed, and brought over some half.
Drank half of it.
Half a tequila. It was already, they had like the little, like, that seal
It
ever
wasn't
broken.
even sealed.
It wasn't even sealed.
Who does
Who
that?
does that?
That's so
These
hot.
men.
How old was this guy?
He's 35.
Oh.
There you go.
But I was like, wow, I thought he was real fancy. I was like, this little boy.
Not much.
Brought over some used tequila.
We're gonna have to set you up.
So
Any
funny.
listeners, set up my girl Allie
For both.
with a quality,
Yeah.
quality, non-social media,
Mm.
undry. What
Well,
else?
Camila,
What else
give
do
us
you
some of
want?
your stories. I could talk for
I
days
wish
about
I had
mine.
some dating stories, but I haven't had any dates. I haven't been on a date in a very long time, sadly.
So, how are you keeping your vagina lubricated?
Crisco.
No, not Crisco.
She prays.
Lord,
Dear
let
Lord,
me be all
keep
right when it's time.
Fresh. Keep it fresh, Lord.
That's my prayer. Yeah. It's getting better as I age.
That's a good one.
That is good.
That's it.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Allie, for coming by
Thank you.
and
Always a
shedding
good
light
time.
on all your stories and your ventures. We love you. Peace out, you guys.
Peace out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at 3_MAMA.s. And you can also write to us at middleagedmamas@gmail.com for any comments or questions you might have.